We sold the Caddy for £1,550. Now that means that we've got £1,500 to invest in the next project to trade up to something a bit nicer. But at £1,500, we're still at the bottom, guys. We need to trade another couple of cars to get a rung or two up. So today we're going to jump in Roger's van and we're going to go and pick up the next car. And we're going to make our way about 6 miles down the road. So we're going to go and collect the trailer, and then this car, as I say, is about 6 or 7 miles down the road. So we're going to save a fortune on delivery costs. What is it? What is this car that is so good?
And here it is. It's a somewhat abandoned Mazda 3. And no, the cats don't come with it.
And with it unloaded from the trailer and in the workshop, let's have a look at this Mazda 3 and see what we've bought and find out why it was so cheap. Because on the face of it, it's a metallic red 2013 Mazda 3. It's got a nice little sporty body kit. It's got a load of history with it as well. So why was this car so cheap?
Because on the surface, it looks like a really nice little car. It's got alloys, it's got a sporty body kit, it's in this nice pearlescent red. The mileage is pretty good, but it's what's underneath and inside that we should be worried about. Or should we? There were a couple of advisories on the last MOT that kind of got alarm bells ringing, and one of them was the rusty rear subframe. So what does Roger's trusty hammer have to say about it?
All looks solid, it's just delaminating, isn't it? But I don't think anything's actually going to go through on it. Just wants cleaning and protecting. Yeah, it's cracking and perishing in that bottom ball joint. That's all. But never been an advisory on an MOT.
No.
Drive shaft boots and that look all good. That's pretty much the same. So at worst, that's just going to be an advisory.
Yeah.
Did the aircon work?
I didn't want to turn it on and get covered in cat hair and smells. Yeah, I mean, that's the front subframe as well. It looks like you could do a little bit of a tickle with something to protect it.
I tell you what though, there ain't much up with this car at all.
This car's got a cluster fault. When you turn the ignition on, you can see that we've got no display in the middle here. So we're going to have to pop this out and have a look. Now to do that, we need to remove this here. There's no screws. It's literally just clipped in. We've got 2 Phillips screws either side. So just one here and one on the other side, just there. Now, what we're going to need to do is find out what the mileage on this car is, because we can't see it on the cluster. So it means either we get this cluster repaired or we need to buy a replacement cluster and have the cluster reprogrammed to the car's mileage. So we plugged it in. We're going to have a look and see exactly what we can find out about the car.
So plugging it in and scanning it, we can see that we've got a handful of fault codes, some of which are related to the cluster. But we found out that the mileage is a touch under 112,000, which really isn't a lot of miles for a car this age. I think we could be onto a winner if we can get this dash fixed.
So that means that we've had to get the original clocks, box them up, and we're going to send them off to get them repaired. Looking online, we found a company called AC Tronics who will do the repair on these Mazda clocks, which looks like it's quite common, for £229, including VAT. So we've booked the collection. It's coming today. So with the clocks away, we can get on with the rest of the repairs to this car so that when they return, we can reconnect the clocks and get this thing in for its MOT. We've got the MOT booked for this car in just 5 days' time, and we've got a weekend in the middle of that. So I guess the clock is ticking. With everything that we've got to do on this car, I guess we start at the front and we'll work our way to the back, because we've got to sort these headlights because they're all cloudy and nasty, and when I put a Mini in with headlights like that, the MOT tester was very quick to fail it. So we've got to sort these cloudy headlights out. We've then also got to deal with the filters and a service, and then going back through the car, obviously we're waiting on that cluster, and that rear subframe was also looking a bit crusty. So we're going to attack that with a wire wheel, paint it up, and it should look good as new. For a first attempt on these headlights, I'm going to use this Turtle Wax headlight 2-in-1 cleaner and sealant. Yeah, it's come from somewhere in the barn. I don't know where. I've used this before and it seems like it's a miracle. I'm not even going to use a machine polisher to start with. We're just going to do it by hand to see how good this stuff really is. to start with, I'm just going to put it on quite liberally, and once we've got a nice coating on there, I'm just going to buff it down with a microfiber towel and see how much of that haziness just disappears with minimal effort.
Then once we've worked the polish in, we just buff it off with a clean microfiber towel. What do you think?
And I mean, look at that. What a difference a quick 2-minute hand job has made. That will sail through an MOT. I guess the question is, can we get it any better by tickling it with a machine polisher? Well, I guess there's one way to find out. Now, I'm just finishing it off again with the same polish and sealant, but just by hand, just to give it one last going over. So you apply it and then just wipe it with a clean cloth. What a difference, they look amazing. And all that out of a £7.50 bottle of turtle wax. I know what you're thinking. Yes, the headlights look great, but Tim, why haven't you cleaned the rest of the car? And that's because we've got some oily bits to do first, and the weather can't make up its mind. 1 minute, it's beautiful sunshine. I mean, look at it. And the next minute, it's tipping down with rain. We've got the Mazda in the workshop, so we're gonna get on with the oily bits first, and then we can clean it just before it goes in for its MOT. So that means we need to pop the bonnet, and we're gonna change the air filter, the cabin filters, and the fuel filter. We're not gonna do the oil because stupidly, I've sent the clocks off already, and it means we can't start the car. So we'll do that just before the MOT when the clocks get sent back to us.
7 to 10 working days for fucking uniform.
We've got weird sizes on this one. This is a 7mm to take the lid off the airbox. We'll just go around, pop these off.
And with the lid off, you can see that the air filter has got some, what looks like damages. Where, when they've installed it, you can see it's been compressed. So instead of taking the whole airbox out to reinstall it, they've just compressed the air filter to get it in.
And again, another stop off at GSF on the way to the workshop this morning. For £55, we got the air filter, cabin filter, oil filter, and fuel filter. I guess this is where the money starts going back in the car. So the headlights were just a bit of elbow grease, so it didn't really cost us anything. The clocks, as long as they can be repaired, are going to be £229, so fingers crossed for those. And the service kit, that was £54. So including the £400 purchase price, we're into this car for £683. Let's get this air filter fitted back up, and we're going to do it properly. We're going to take the airbox out so we don't have to compress the filter to get it back in. Yes, it takes a little longer, but it's the right thing to do. And with that done, let's get onto the fuel filter because that's next on the list. Oh, I get to sit down now. So with the canister out of the car, we've got a T15 and we just need to take these little Torx bolts out the top. I think there's 3 of them. And there we go. Right, with the new filter, we've got a little gasket here that goes in just in there. And then that will drop in. There's only one way this can go on because you've got your screw holes. And we just need to put the Torx bits in the top and we're good to go. With all that back together, we can put the engine cover on. And next up, the cabin filter.
And with this plastic cover off, we can see that the cabin filter slides in here.
So you pull the cabin filter, all sorts of nastiness is falling out of it. I'm guessing this is where it was parked underneath the tree. So you can pull the first one out. And then the second one just kind of pulls down and out.
And with the filter box cleaned out, we just pop the new filters back in one at a time.
Yeah, we can't really see in there, but trust me, they're in. And with the new filters fitted and the panel screwed back into place, we can see how much debris was sitting in the blower box behind those filters. Looking at these cabin filters we've removed, they're actually genuine Mazda parts, which Makes you question, when was the last time these were actually changed? Because they're disgusting. There's the little Mazda logo and the part number. And then inside here, we can see just, I mean, look at all of the nastiness trapped inside. Now, the only filter we've got left is the oil filter, but we're not going to do that until we've got the clocks back so we can start the engine to get it nice and warm. So the last big job to tackle on this car is underneath, and I don't know why I'm about to go down in the pit when there's a perfectly good ramp there, but anyway, underneath here we can see that the rear subframe is looking a bit crusty. It's solid, it's just, yeah, it just looks a bit unpleasant. So what we're going to do is clean it off with a wire brush and then give it a nice coat of some black hammerite or some protective stone guard, and then this should look good as new and it will protect it for years to come. But doing all this work in a light coloured top is madness. And before I go underneath there and start sanding and painting, let's get into something more suitable. It's time to tackle that rusty rear subframe.
So we need to remove all the loose flaky rust with this wire brush before we can start painting it. And the prospect of doing it under the pit, doubled over for a good hour and a half, just wasn't doing it for me. So up on the ramp, and it gave me so much more access to get this brush in all the nooks and crannies before we start painting it. And after several thick coats, it should be good to go. It's not the prettiest, but it doesn't need to be, it just needs to protect it. Subframe should be good for a few more years to come.
End of day one, I think we made some really good progress. We've got to wait for the clocks to come back, and then we can get the oil change done. And then I think other than a really good clean, it's probably ready for the MOT. And worst case, the MOT is going to tell us anything that we've missed. But I think we could be onto a really good profit with this car. So I'll come back to you in a minute when the clocks have returned.
Sometime later.
Massive shout out to AC Tronics. If you need your clocks repaired, get in touch with these guys. The turnaround was just fantastic. We called them to book the job first thing in the morning. The courier turned up a couple of hours later. Then, literally 3 working days later, the clocks were back with us, repaired and ready to fit.
No software or mileage settings are adjusted.
If we plug these in and they work, I mean, £229 and 4 days later, this is just amazing. So let's get these in the car and fingers crossed, everything works as it should.
Probably should.
Moment of truth. Look at that. We've got a display. So we need to get it up to temperature, but it also needs a good run. So we're going to stick the trade plates on it. We're going to take it down the road for a quick run and make sure everything checks out, because we haven't driven this car yet. We've literally pushed it off the trailer, backed it into the workshop, and that is it. So it's time to get in the car and see exactly what we've got ourselves into. And yes, it's probably a bit late in the day to give it its first test drive, but I mean, come on guys, would we do it any other way? How'd you tell it's a good road test?
Because we're currently draining down the screen wash as we drive at the speed limit.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is good because it f***ing stinks. I think that's us, we're out. Put some fresh in there, the MOT tester will be happy.
Yeah.
Everything else seems really good on it though. Heated seats, cruise control, which, cruise on. Oh, I've got a little light that says cruise on. Set, yeah.
Going cruising in your Mazda.
Yeah, I mean, that's what dreams are made of. That's alright, that. Cruise works. Cruise off. Yeah, everything works.
So a couple of miles down the road on a quick test loop round the workshop. It's great. I mean, it's not the quickest of cars, but it gets down the road, no problem at all.
Oh, the heated seats working.
Yeah.
Yeah, my house is on fire. And we're back genuine original miles.
Yeah.
So we genuinely haven't done anything iffy or untoward.
So now we're back in the workshop. We'll leave it running for another couple of minutes, and then we can drop the oil, get some fresh oil in, new filter. Yeah, we need to screw the cluster in, put the shroud back on, and then it's all ready for its MOT tomorrow. It's Wednesday, so it's MOT day. Yeah, we've given ourselves this 7-day deadline to make sure we can get this car in and out for maximum profit in as little time as possible. Right, with the cover back on, we're good to go. And there she goes. I guess we'll find out in an hour's time. Have we done enough? Was that ball joint an issue? Well, an hour later, I guess we've got the answers. So we're back from the MOT, got the MOT sheet here, and the good news is, there is no good news, guys, we failed. Yeah, but it's not that bad. So we failed on just a ball joint being excessively worn. Now, when we got it on the ramp and looked it over, we did call that out, but we thought, you know what, we'll put it in. It might be an advisory, but there's only one way to find out, right? Well, it wasn't, it failed, so we're gonna have to change that. They are pressed into the lower arms. So actually, it's probably easier just to change the lower arm. We got some advisories on the list, and the first one is the lower arm bushes are worn. So actually, if we change the lower arms, we get new bushes and we get new ball joints. So that takes care of that. That's about £63 for those replacements. So again, it's not too bad. We've also got some anti-roll bar linkages for the rear. They're £11 each. So again, while we're under there, we'll do those to tidy that up. And the rear brake pads are also a bit low. So we've ordered some new ones of those. Again, about £8. That is criminal. But what it means is we can have all the advisories taken care of and the fail for just under £100. It's been a few days, the parts have arrived, the Mazda's back on the ramp. So let's get this buttoned up today and then we can get it retested and get it up for sale. So what have we got to do? Well, first things first, we've got to do the lower arms because the ball joint is actually pressed into the lower arm. So it's easier just to buy replacement arms with the ball joints and just bolt them all up into place. So if we look down here, we've got the replacement arm and we've got one for the other side. Ball joint is there. We've also had to do the rear pads. They were advised, so while I was taking my sweet time to get up the workshop this morning, Roger has already cracked on and got those changed. And so with the arms changed, we've also replaced these rear bushes here as well because it all comes all together for both sides. So with those done, and the rear drop links, which we've also got to change, that will be all of the MOT advisories taken care of. So we'll just have a straight pass with nothing to worry about for the next 12 months.
And that's the new rear drop links in. Just a couple of bolts, one at the top, one at the bottom. Or if they aren't playing ball, you can always cut them out. Now these ball joints are in really tight, so even with a big bar, it's not going to come out. So that's why they invented a tool called a ball joint splitter. Yeah, it's like a fork that you put between the ball joint and the arm and you just hit it. With everything that you've got, you just hit it. And did it work? Well, let's get a bar in and have a look. Is that going to move or are we going to have to persuade it some more? And we're out. Then that just leaves us to undo the 2 bolts through this bush at the back and then the bush at the front, and we can get this arm out of the way, ready to put the new one in. And this is a step that often gets overlooked, but the next person to work on your car will thank you, is to make sure you apply some copper grease to these bushes, because as we saw on the Tiguan, they just literally seize up and then you are in for a whole world of hurt trying to get them out. Then with the ball joint located in the hub, a little tap, we're ready to bolt it all back together. And then with everything done up nice and tight, it's time to go round with one final check by hand to make sure that everything is tight and good to go. Mechanically, it's ready for a retest. So I guess we need to think about getting this thing up for sale as soon as it passes. So that means it needs a damn good clean.
And after a wash, it looks 10 times better. It's not perfect yet, so I think what I need to do is wet vac the interior to make sure that those seats come up absolutely perfectly. We'll give that boot carpet another going over and then clean all the plastics and everything inside just to make sure we've got all of the grime off it. But I guess the question is, with all the work we've done and a fresh 12 months MOT, what's it worth? And how much have we spent on this car? Are we even going to make a profit? Well, sitting at home with a coffee, I think it's perfect time to have a look at that and also look at what we could possibly sell this car for. So, to start with, we bought this car for £400, which in itself, for a 2013 Mazda 3, seemed like quite a bargain. We then spent £229 getting the clocks repaired. We've spent £70 on the service kit. We've then spent another £53 on the MOT. We then spent another £30 on the drop links and the brake pads, along with £63 for the lower arms. Then with £10 for sort of miscellaneous bits and pieces. Oh, and we also spent £3 on some batteries for the remote fobs because they weren't working. So in total, we've spent £858, and that includes buying the car, all of the work that we've done, and the cost of the MOT as well. So for less than £900, we've got this car ready to go back out the door. But what's it worth? Wow, there's the question. Let's take a look on Auto Trader and have a look. Our Mazda 3 is a 1.6 turbo diesel Mazda 3 Venture. So that means it's fully loaded with all the toys. It's got factory fitted TomTom sat-nav, it's got cruise control, it's got climate control, it's got electric windows all round, heated seats, it's got the sporty little bumpers and side skirts along with the alloy wheels. It's a really nice little car. So what's it worth? Ultimately, that's why we're here. Are we going to make a profit? Or how much profit are we going to make? Looking on Auto Trader for other 1.6 Ventures, we've got a whole bunch to choose from. In fact, I think there's 54 currently for sale. So the first one that comes up, which again says it's a good price, is £3,500 at 96,000 miles. It is a 12 plate, not a 13, so it's older than our car. We've then got another one, actually exactly the same colour as ours, with 76,000 miles, and it's from a dealer, and that's up for £4,295. We've got another one here, which has got 120,000 miles, 119,000, for 1,300 in Bradford. So again, it's a little bit worrying to see one that's so much cheaper. But then we've got another one, 66,000 miles, 3,750. We've got one here, which is the 2.2, so we'll ignore that one. We've got one here with 55,000 miles for £5,000. So the prices on these all seem quite high. We've got this one here, a 2012, again, 2,400 with 107,000. So again, it's a year older than our car and the mileage is a little bit less, but it's there or thereabouts. We've got one here, it's a 2012, 102,000, 26,995. We've got one in the same color, same sort of miles actually, 113,000, but it is a 2012 and it was a category N write-off and they want £2,249. So I think it's safe to say prices are all over the place on these, but I think we need to price ours keenly to get it sold quickly. So how much do you think we should advertise ours for? Bearing in mind it's got a fresh 12 months MOT and it's just been serviced. Well, I think we should be more towards the bottom end of the price on this, because if people are filtering by price, we want ours to come up first, right? And we've put a couple of days work into it. So if we advertise it for, I don't know, 19,995, so just a touch under £2,000, and then we let it go for £1,800, well, that's going to give us a profit of £942 for just a couple of days work. That's not bad, but I guess we won't know until it sells. And so you're going to have to wait for the next video. So make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and keep an eye out for when we upload the next trading up video, and I'll let you know exactly what we sold this car for. But in the meantime, if you haven't looked back at where we started with our Caddy, have a look at this video right here.